it's Ananya. She was typing something.
Oh, she got a project on yours. Okay. Wonderful, Ananya. Share it with me, okay? I'd love to see it.
She was doing some PPT on it. I'll share.
Lovely. Welcome, Neha. Welcome, Dharmesh. Is this your first time, Dharmesh, joining us?
Yeah, this is my first time.
And how did you hear about us?
Kshitiz Johri.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Kshitij.
Mansi, Dharmesh was in DYC, recent DYC.
Achha, okay. Wonderful. So we actually have participants trickling in. I think the Zoom link went a little late, so we're giving some time for people to join in.
Hello.
Hi, Shivo.
Am I audible?
Yes, Shivo. Can't see you yet, but yes, you're fully audible.
Am I? Okay. Yeah, so just give me a minute.
Yes, sure. Dirga, have you put the Zoom link in Akhandiya?
I did that, Nancy.
Okay. And Deva Siddhi also.
Yeah, Mansi, we can start anytime.
So Pranam, everyone. I am really excited today. So as you all know, Shivo is the founder of Quantum Life. Quantum Life is a spiritual path, a very unique spiritual path for accelerated human evolution. It is a path of heroes, and it is a path that for the current times, which takes the chaos and converts it into creation. So for me, for a lot of people, it might seem very paradoxical that how a founder of a spiritual path is actually not just starting a program called Be an Quantum Entrepreneur, but how entrepreneurship is a part and parcel of every quantum program we have and of every workshop we have in any subject. It's a part of that. So that is really, I mean, it is a paradox, and we will try to unveil it today. We still have a lot of new people joining, so I'm going to just slow down a little bit. Hi, Radhika. Hi, Vajanti. Hi, Prashant.
Hello.
Hi. So I'm just going to reiterate what I said, is that Shivo is the founder of Quantum Life, which is a spiritual path. And it seems really paradoxical that he would start this program called Be an Quantum Entrepreneur. And it is not just a program, but this quantum entrepreneurship has been a vibrational fundamental of all the workshops we've had. And that has been a part of every participant's journey. So, and it seems very paradoxical that a spiritual founder would be so much into entrepreneurship. So we will unveil some of that today, but tomorrow we will have a session with Shivo on his journey from, that led him to this quantum entrepreneurship, and how different facets of his life got integrated. And even though I have known Shivo for more than 12 years, very closely, there were things that were total eye-openers to me. And many of you who attended the Guru Purnima session, you know what is the vibrational foundation of Quantum Life, like what were the circumstances, because there were very intense circumstances with which the Deva fields opened up for Quantum Life, and the whole Quantum Life got downloaded, and that was shared by Shivo during Guru Purnima. But tomorrow we will have the journey of Shivo, a conscious journey of Shivo, of how all these things, all his various life experiences, and they have been so varied, so diverse. He has worked in such diverse fields, and how that got integrated into Quantum Life and quantum entrepreneurship. So that conversation, Oprah style, tomorrow. And today we'll talk more about how to be a quantum entrepreneur. So welcome to you, Shivu.
Hi, and thank you everyone for joining.
Shivu, I also want to share that we have been constantly surprised in our discussions. So many times I've seen Mukul or Kshitij bring up, because these are voracious, avid readers and readers of management books and management workshops, global and on a national level, and even Suchismita. So all these people bring concepts to you, and many quite complicated seeming concepts, and you are immediately able to show how we are using it in Quantum Life, right? So that has been,
Yeah, so a lot of those concepts, they intuitively downloaded and they just got into action without even we realizing it, that those concepts are so
yes.
big. And then when people talk about it, there is a book by some famous management author which is talking of the same concept, but here actually we are applying it without even knowing it actually.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is what
this
is the intelligence. Yeah, this is the intelligence a quantum entrepreneur actually accesses. This is what the whole thing about quantum entrepreneurship.
So it is that we are accessing the vibrational field of, because Shivu, when a management author writes about it in the written form, there are only some things he can share. If we follow just the written thing, we cannot really reach to the success he has. We have to go to the vibrational field from which he downloaded those concepts. Is that what you're saying? And
and actually you are trying to understand intellectually, and all of you would know, I am sure, if you try to apply anything intellectually, it is just impossible. I was just a very funny thing. I was just attending someone who is very famous, his workshop, and there was communication styles, so the way this person was explaining communication style, that there are, okay, I'm sorry if I go wrong factually, but I hope you'll get the sense. So they describe there are 6 chairs, and you are on which chair. So there is a rabbit chair, there is an eagle chair, there are 6 kind of chairs, and how you are communicating. Now even if you learn that, how will you know whether you are communicating like a rabbit or you are communicating like a crocodile? How will you know that actually? And do you think there are only 6 styles? I would say there are 7 billion people in the world. There are 7 billion styles. So you have to actually download your own style. Like, there is something very beautiful I read somewhere. There used to be in entrepreneurship, there used to be niche. there was thinking, okay, there is this niche. And one day I read something very beautiful, which said that in market now there are no niche. You have to create your niche. If you follow any niche, now what has become the rule in the market? Earlier, what used to happen, if there are, let's say, 5 competitors, let's say if there are 5 coaching classes in your, I don't want to go to the example of the car companies and all. Very simple example. Let's say there are 5 coaching classes in your city for a particular, entrance exam or whatever. So somebody would have 30% share, somebody would have 25, 20, like that. Okay. Now with the upcoming of the idea world, upcoming of the this new era post corona, there are no niches where multiple player can exist. Now if there is any niche, the first player will have 90% market share, the second player will have 9% market share, and after that, if there are 100 players, they will have combined 1% share. So do you realize you have to be the only one existing in the niche? And how do you do that? If somebody's already done that and now you are thinking, I will do it, is it even possible? So now what is the solution? So somewhere I read this something very beautiful, which really opened me up also. You have to create your own niche, a niche which was never there. And that is what we do in quantum entrepreneurship. Every person, today you will listen to the stories of different people, how they're creating quantum ventures. And every one of them, I can promise you, when you will listen to their ventures, you cannot find out even one venture anywhere in the world which is like that. For example, even Quantum Life is a quantum venture. There is no spiritual path like Quantum Life. We may be very small, but we are absolutely unique. So we have our own niche, right? We have created it. This niche did not exist. So that's why we have programs like Quantum Entrepreneurs, isn't it? We
Shivu,
are tapping our own individuality.
Shivu, can
Yeah.
you give an example of what you said? That the first person or the person who creates the niche gets 90%, and if someone else comes,
No, tell
it's
me
like they
now. Tell me, in in the internet shopping, who is number 1 in the world?
Amazon,
How much market share they have?
right? At
Right?
least in US,
They have
so pretty
almost.
much, yeah. They're
I don't
completely
know.
monopoly. Yeah.
Now, a lot of people say that, does it mean that you cannot create your own shopping venture? You can, but you'll have to create your niche. Now, there was a niche like internet, the internet shopping. They already captured that. Now you can create a mall based on, let's say, your country, your individuality, a specific item. Then again, you're creating a niche. You are not following the Amazon model. You're getting it. You can create your market for fashion or pets there. If there is let's say a site on fashion, a shopping site on fashion, that can become bigger than the fashion segment of Amazon, because the
Right.
niche is different. You have to create your own niche. See, there is a very big internet community, Facebook community, that, Mansi. Mumo, and now it has become Umo, I think, right? Very big. How many? They have some millions, right? How many millions?
Yes,
Mothers?
Unimo. Yeah.
Yeah, some 17 millions or something,
Yeah,
right?
they were the greatest. They were the largest network of moms in the world.
Yeah. You think people did not try to imitate them? Many would have tried, but no one will succeed. But now there is another venture called Thane Moms. Okay. Now they can create their venture. Hello? Have you disappeared?
Yes, Shiv. No, you are there, Shiv. We can hear you.
Yeah. Do you see that now, if you create Delhi moms, Thane moms, the Nasik moms, all that can work, but you cannot create Unimo or Mumo. Not possible.
Shivu, Vaibhav
So
has a
one of
question.
the key, yeah, yes, please.
Hi, Shivo. Thank you, Mansi, for
Yes,
giving me the
hi.
opportunity. So when you were just saying about, finding out your own niche and going with that. So one thing that came in my mind is like
Creating, I said, creating your own niche, not
creating.
finding.
Yeah.
You cannot find your niche. Find means you explore everywhere, find out if somebody is doing it. No, you cannot do that. Not possible. Not in a post-corona world.
Okay.
If you do that, you may barely survive. If you are making extremely high effort, you will not flourish. You have to create your niche, not find your niche. And that journey is what this 3-month workshop is going to be. How do you, and this is what a lot of people have done in Quantum Life. They have created their own niche. Yeah.
So Shivo, I completely agree with what you just said. But one thing that came in my mind is like startups and businesses like Amazon, they are entertaining, they are dealing with all kind of people, So, and if we are selecting a niche, we are dealing with, we are entertaining small number of people. So, profit way may, or in other.
No. If you think by kind of, even though you are going to deal with a small segment, you are in a way imitating the Amazon model in a different kind of a niche, isn't it? So obviously you are going to be much, much smaller than Amazon, but you can still flourish.
Yeah,
You're
targeting
getting
the
it. So wherever, yeah, I would say, yeah. So there, I mean, shopping is not the only thing on, on internet. In fact, now there are mind products, mind concepts. That's what is everyone has to work upon. Or the soul products. A lot of people have said that India will be the hub of coaching, and I believe that. I believe that, right?
Shivu, Arunji has said that Biju online coach has 90% of Indian share.
Sorry?
Is it the Biju online coaching? Is that what you're saying? And then SpaceX.
Baiju, yes.
Baiju. Okay. Sorry, I'm not very familiar with the Indian. Yeah, and Sunny says SpaceX. Shivu, I completely get that. You have NASA and SpaceX has created its own niche, the first time private travel to space. So that is a completely, you have the huge NASA with all that funding, and this is a different niche where first time private individuals can go to space. So yes, lots of examples. Thank you. Shivu, moving gears a little bit, there are so many things that have come into quantum entrepreneurship, whether it be, understanding the psychic secrets, the astronomical secrets, and you have brought that also in quantum entrepreneurship, which is probably not there in any other entrepreneurship model in the world. Would you like to talk about it now?
So
Also,
yeah, I think we will, when we make our own presentation, it will be the part of that. Yeah. So then I will be able to kind of explain it scientifically, rationally, spiritually also.
Shiva, talking about science, I'm also thinking of sci-fi and how the Star Wars world, the Star Wars verse, and the Jedi's and the Force that they connect to, how it is in a way similar to the quantum vibrational field, and how that is also part of quantum entrepreneurship. Would you like to talk about it now or during the...
Mansi, the Star Wars have been your favorite.
Yes.
I would say you can do it better. So you can explain, please.
Shivud, I being a sci-fi lover, I see a lot of similarities between what is happening in the psychic world, in the quantum vibrational field, and what these movies have tried to access. I think many of them have had influences, or they have been interested in mythology, and our Hindu mythology is very, very deep. So one of the things is the Jedi always connect to a force. First of all, there is always the good versus evil. The you know the Jedi are fighting against the Darth Vader and all those forces, and that is a theme in not just Star Wars but in all superhero movies. The Jedis are connecting to the Force. They always say that may the Force be with you, and even their weapons, the astras that they use, they are coming from their connection to a vibrational field, which they call the Force. So there again, I see in all our quantum programs and quantum entrepreneurship, we always connect to that vibrational field. And that is where we get the solutions from. We are always connecting to something that is much larger. And even the vibrational field is connected to the greater cosmos. We are not creating a cult. We are connecting to the greater cosmos. So I see a lot of similarities between that. Also, how the Jedi people, the Jedi warriors are living.
Mansi, just 1 minute. I just felt something, so let me just share this.
Please.
One of my most stunning realization was that the only religion that has a vibrational field is Christianity. So if you go to a church, they will invoke the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. What is that Holy Spirit? Holy Spirit is a vibrational field of Christianity. It is just because of the act of being part of vibrational field. That is why the Christian nations are at the forefront today. We Hindus had our own vibrational field that was long, many thousand years back, but we lost that. Yeah. So yeah. Yes, please, Mansi, please go on sharing with your Star Wars phenomenon.
Yes, Shivu, and one of the things is the Christians may not even be conscious that they are connecting to a vibrational field.
Right. And if they become conscious, it will become more effective.
Okay. Shivu, I don't know if we have space for that, but why did we lose it? Why did we lose our vibration?
Actually, something very deep about it. I will have to refer to what Tilak said in the Arctic Homes of Vedas. And if I want to rush through very quickly, it will become controversial. So I would want to kind of explain it thoroughly. So maybe some other point.
Fair enough. And Shivu, this quantum entrepreneurship, it has so many different parts of it. Would you say, when you're being a quantum entrepreneur, you have said before that we have to create our niche. How do we arrive at that niche? Because I know that we have in quantum entrepreneurship, we have a esoteric component also, and you personally have access to a lot of your past lives. How does that play into your vision of quantum entrepreneurship?
You mean to say, how do we come to our niche?
Sure.
No. What is your question? Sorry, I missed that. What is your question?
Shivu, I just feel that the quantum entrepreneurship model that you have created is so diverse. It's so diverse. Like, how does it become so diverse? I mean, I asked that question because surely it cannot be just from your
So that's what.
Where are you tapping? Because I have seen the magic of that. Okay, when we share our sharings, I have seen the magic of how things have happened with zero money, how we have created things, because we all have this percept that, okay, if I want to start something, I need money. How we have broken, and there are such things that I have not even, so I've seen how the magic has happened, but I don't know. I've seen the magic, but I don't know how it has happened. That is where I'm getting.
So I think, Mansi, that I'll digress a little bit, but I really felt that God wanted me to create this model where you can create flourishing with business with zero money. And that is why, about, some of my friends who were very intimate, very rich. They were ready to, commit any kind of money and all. And there were, mishaps which I couldn't fathom. I said, God, listen, God, I really love them. And how could you create that kind of a confusion between us? You know, but I had this idea that, so I kept asking, why did that happen? Why did that happen? And one day I got the answer. Answer was, if they were there, even if you believe that you will create something without money, they will keep coming in telling you that, okay, I want to offer you this much money and all that. So then your mind will get kind of entangled into that money thing. So we have taken everyone away, right?
So they would control the vision, is what you mean to say. If they
No,
came in,
even if, no, Mansi, that is another part. That also happened in my life. Some people came who wanted to control my vision with money. But let's say, even if they're very pure, like there was someone someone very pure, very intimate, you know, even I realized that even if that person is there, even though I was not ever expecting any money from him, he was just a very, very dear friend of mine. But he will always say, कि, चलो मैं तुम्हारे लिए ये करता हूँ, तुम्हारे लिए ये करता हूँ. Do you see? So it will remain part of my thinking. You understand?
Mhm.
So in a certain sub, I know everything that happens with me is beautiful. That is divinely designed. And there is nothing that unfortunately happens. And this episode, which something that happened with him, it like it, I was so, I mean, it was mind boggling. Why did that happen? It was an episode which was very unusual. And I was asking God, listen, you do everything good to me. And I know there must be something good in this also. I know that. But can you please tell me what is good about it? And this is the answer I got. That if he was with you, you will still think that money thing will encroach you at some other point. And when he just went away, I said, okay, now this is what it is. And then that we had made another attempt when Quantolife was Quantology, and even though I was not liking it, but I had agreed to a kind of a corporate model. And that what kind of disaster happened that I have shared in the Guru Purnima, on Guru Purnima I had shared. But when this fresh beginning of Quantolife happened with zero money, that's when we have grown, because God wanted me to bring that model in the world. And that's what we are teaching to quantum entrepreneurs.
Ashivu, both these situations were almost like a tower moment where everything crashed, you know, and there was huge chaos. So so as you have said it, is this also an example of chaos to creation? Because you've often said
Absolutely.
that quantum entrepreneurship is from chaos to creation.
Yeah, and I described that on Guru Purnima, and tomorrow again I'm going to describe the other component, the other dimensions of that.
Excellent. Shivu, before we go into the slides, we have a lot of, I want to address what Arunji has asked. We have a lot of people with different aspirations. And in fact, after the slideshow, you can touch on how these aspirations, would go, how these aspirations can create something new. What would this workshop do for them? Like people who have aspirations.
So, like
Who
we
is this
described,
workshop for? Who's this workshop for?
okay.
Is it for people who are already in a business?
Yeah.
Who
So
already
let
have a
me.
project? Yeah, can you just
Yeah.
elaborate on that?
So some of you may have aspirations, but you don't know what your aspiration is. So this is for you. Some of you know what is your aspiration, but you don't know how to move ahead. What is a project? This is for you. Some of you have aspiration, have projects, but you are facing hurdles, obstacles. You don't know how to cross them. This is for you. Some of you may have flourishing projects, but you still want to make it bigger, unleash, or you want to start something which is more fulfilling, more joyous in, wherever, on whichever stage you are, the quantum entrepreneurship workshop is for you.
Shivu, can we just ask the audience to put in the chat while we transition to the slideshow? Can we hear from everyone where they are? Like they don't know, they have an aspiration, but they don't know quite. They probably don't even know the aspiration. They just have this aspiration. They want to do something big. But they don't know what. Okay, that is number one. Okay, where you don't even know. You just want to do something. You don't know what that something is. Two, where you know what something is, you know your aspiration, but you don't know how to move forward. Third is you have the aspiration, you probably have a project, but you are facing obstacles. And fourth is you already have a project, it's doing well, but you want to reach the next level, like you want to make it really, really big, like that's your dream. So can you just take a minute and share that? Okay, so Shivu, are you looking at the chats, or do you want me to summarize?
Yeah.
Arunji, we will take your question. It is a religious question. We will take it up maybe tomorrow. Sunny says he has an aspiration and an idea, but he doesn't know how to bring it to reality. Okay, Sunny, so you are at that stage. Can we just take a minute and check with everyone where everyone is? We have 40 people here. Can we hear from others so we know really where you all are? Maybe you are here just because you are feeling that I want to do something big, but I don't know what it is at all. Because we've had people, I think, from that sphere also. We've had some major stories. Okay. Shivu, Arunji says, if I touch gold, it turns into mud.
Okay, so Quantum Life has changed many destinies.
Yes.
We will hear about them soon, actually. After my presentation, you will hear about those destinies.
Yes. Anyone else wants to share? One or two people want to just write in the chat, like where they are. Okay, so Vaibhav says he has his purpose, but he's looking forward how to bring that into reality. Okay, thank you, Vaibhav. Okay. Shivuk, shall we look into the PPT?
Yeah. Yeah, so
sorry, Shivuk.
So what is quantum entrepreneurship? Welcome everyone for this whole new concept. So I will begin with a question. Yeah, Masi, next slide, please. Yeah, so has the business environment changed drastically in past 20 years or 25 years? Inviting your feedback. Yeah. And what is the change? How do you define that change?
Shivu, are you asking in the past 20 years or the past 2-3 years also?
Past 25 years and past 2-3 years is special.
Okay. So Jayaji
what is the change basically?
Shivu, can I speak?
Yeah, just can you just post on chat, because we are running behind the schedule. If you want to ask questions, then we'll invite
that. Shivu, Jayaji says internet boom in the past 25 years and people prefer online platform. So a lot of people are saying about online. Preeti also says that, and Raman says that.
So
e-commerce, digital.
So how I will define the change in the business environment. Mansi, can you go to the next slide?
Yes.
What do you think about this? Do you think this is what has happened?
Amen. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Totally.
I hope everyone agrees. If anybody don't agree with this, please tell me. I would say this is the biggest change that has happened. 25 years back, businesses were stable. They were living in predictable environment. Now, everywhere there is chaos, and that is the biggest reality business
तो
has to
ये
deal with.
तुम्हारे यहाँ ऐसा हो जाता है
Okay. So, Mansi, next slide, please. So, while the traditional business models, they are based on the stability and predictability, the quantum entrepreneurship is based on chaos, thriving on chaos. See, the current business models, when did they start actually? So they started somewhere in 18th century, sorry, 19th century. And the person to whom this credit goes, I really love that person. He is such a role model for me. And I would love to have a session about him someday. His name was Adam Smith, and he is known as the father of capitalism. We may think that father of capitalism means he was talking a lot about money and all. No, sorry. He was a very pious person. He created a new concept. And the whole business model that came up, see, before 18th century, the whole world was in total chaos. If you see in Europe, the average age in Europe was just 29. That kind of chaos because everybody was killing each other, right? But from 18th century, from 1700 onwards, world started to become stable. And in fact, between 1700 and till uh, First World War, the number of people who were getting killed in the warfare, in spite of all the big technologies of guns and all that, that had drastically reduced. World became a very peaceful place, especially after the World War. Do you see there is no major disastrous war? So the worst thing we have had is the Cold War, which actually was not a war, but actually, yes, it was a lot of tension in the world. So this is again, Mansi, I'm going to discuss a lot of these phenomena in when I discuss the 50 years consciousness cycle and how we can predict what is going to happen in the world. So that is for that. But uh, so the traditional business model, those were basically based on stability. They wanted stability. If you don't have stability, you cannot do the business. But now what is the environment is chaos. And so we need a new business model. And this is what I'm presenting here, the quantum entrepreneurship. It thrives on chaos.
Shiva, Ankur and Jayaji have been saying that all these businesses are changing so fast and things become redundant so fast.
Yes.
And so
that is what the quantum entrepreneurship is. How to deal with that.
yeah. And Dharmesh is also saying that environment has come into focus. Shiva, maybe you can touch that because there is an astronomical reason also about the environment, right? So Dharmesh will come to that.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the stability of fixed ideas, Ankur, great points. Yeah, the stability is completely. Yes, Shiva.
Yeah, so we can move to the next slide.
Yeah.
So
Shiva,
quantum entrepreneurship is really the future for India. The traditional business model, management model we follow today is uh, is not really an Indian model. Actually, it came from the West. It has a Western ethos. But the quantum entrepreneurship I'm talking about is the future for India. The reason is in quantum entrepreneurship we are always communicating with psychic fields, with the cosmic consciousness. And in India, we have this concept, Aham Brahmasmi. That means I exist in the whole space. So we communicate with space. This is the highlight. This is the crescendo of this model that it is not you acting as body, mind, but you acting as soul. Yeah. So if you see what are the Indian success stories, and I know most of you will agree with me. Yeah, Mansi. So Indian success stories are IT and space. And yeah, India is a kind of a spiritual hub mentally. All kind of, the spiritual concepts happening across the world, they all have somewhere the Indian origin. So these are the three success stories of India. Now, whenever, okay, now I am making a statement that for India to be the Vishwaguru, the path is through quantum entrepreneurship. We need our own management, our own leadership, our own entrepreneurship model for us to become the guiding light of the world, the lighthouse of the world. Even in this success stories, you will realize that the ethos of IT and space match with Indian ethos, right? Marcy, can you? Yeah, next slide.
Sorry.
So, can you tell me why India became superpower in IT?
There is some problem.
So, okay, I think I will move a little faster. So let me just share this. Then everyone can ask questions, whatever they want to ask. So the IT, India became a superpower in IT because we had those ethos. India, the zero was discovered in India, and whole IT is based on 0 and 1. India became a superpower in space. Today, it is said that in NASA, the 33% of the scientists, they are from India, and even the ISRO has been like competing at very, very low cost. It has produced very high results in spite of all kind of problems in India. So space, why India became a superpower in space? Because we have been talking about space all the time. Krishna talked about the age of the cosmos in Gita. And Carl Sagan says, one of the greatest astronomer or the astronomy writer, he says that while the Christianity was talking that cosmos is few thousand year old, Indians Indians were already talking that cosmos is few billion year old. So we were always exploring space. Why we were always exploring space? Because we said the space is God. What is the concept? What is the meaning of God for us? God is not someone who is living somewhere in heaven for us. No. It is said that God exists in every, कण कण में भगवान कहते हैं ना, कण कण में है वो. तो क्या है which is there in every particle? That is space. So it is a space which has been talked about in Upanishads. So India became superpower.
Shivu, you know that in Bhagavad Gita, that how we need to be grounded in space when they say that the
Mansi, can you please? Oh my God, Mansi, thank you so much. What the most precious pearl of wisdom you have pointed out to. Can you? I know you remember that sutra.
Yeah, Shivu. So yeah,
recite that for everyone and the meaning of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, it's Urdhva Mula Madashakha plus. I don't remember the exact word, but it's the, I think, 15th adhyay. It is Urdhva Mula Madashakha Masvatham Prayurabhyam Chandansi Yashya Parnani Yastam Veda Veda. Sorry, I have bad Sanskrit, but really the idea is that it talks about a tree. Okay, the Bhagavad Gita, that adhyay, which is supposed to be one of the most pertinent adhyayas, that talks about a tree where the roots are not in the ground, they are in the sky. And what that means is that the grounding.
And it says that the human being is that tree. Human being is a tree whose roots are in the sky. Okay. So we are not. A lot of people I know, they went in a lot of workshops, in a lot of concepts. There's a lot of concept of grounding in earth. That is the concept. But the real spiritual concept is to ground in space. And this concept has existed forever in India. Yeah, Mansi.
Yes.
So,
Shiva, I don't know if you want to take this. Yeah.
yeah, sorry, what?
No,
Take what?
please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please.
Yeah, so that's why India became the success story in IT and space, because the ethos matched. Now my question, my question, why India failed in industrial economy? The answer is same, because the ethos did not match. Because what was industrial economy all about? It was all about matter, the padarth, and just the matter has had a lot of contempt in Indian philosophy. It is called Maya, and Maya has been like said that it is a real block to you, and you become free from Maya. So how would India think about Maya? How would India think about material if we did not respect the material? And obviously, the whole of the Indian society is not geared towards material management or to change the form of material from one to another or to consume it. It's not just designed for that. So India is not, it did not do good in industrial economy, and it will not do well. What the concept that India needs, yeah, Mansi, is
Yes,
a
sure.
concept. Next slide. Is a
Yes.
concept that integrates consciousness, energy, and matter as one reality. Because that is our philosophical foundation. This is what the whole India is about, right? That's what the
Yes.
Indian consciousness is. Yeah. So let me just also begin to explain that how we have been shifting, how the consciousness of the world shifted. So we were in Kali Yuga, and at some point at 1700, we came to Dwapar Yuga. I know there is still a lot of belief in India which says that we are still in Kali Yuga, and uh, Shri Yukteswara in 1895, he said that Kali Yuga is gone, Dwapar Yuga has already started in 1700. Now, when I saw that statement, I was very intrigued, and I said, I want to find the scientific foundation. And I started my research, and for years, I spent years researching this phenomena. Is it really true? Why does Yuga change? Is there any astronomy behind it? What is the connection with why things are good as you progress in Yuga and all that, right? So that's again a different subject. I will not talk about it. I will only touch upon it very briefly because it is very important for quantum entrepreneurship. So when the Kali Yuga was ending, at the end of Kali Yuga, Mansi, next slide.
Shiva, should I go one more?
Just 1 minute. I think we have, yeah, come to the Newton.
Okay, so let me go back.
Yeah. So now we had the great scientist Newton. He came at the end of Kali Yuga, and he was the one who refined, who explained the whole consciousness of Kali Yuga. So he said everything follows a rule. Before Newton, people would look at the sky and they would say, oh my God, we humans have destiny, we are in bondage. But look at the skies, look at the stars, look at the heavens. They don't follow these rules, they are free. And here comes the Newton and says, listen, even they are not free. And he came out with the laws of planetary motion, and he said, you can predict everyone where which star and which planet is going to be. Just look at these laws of planetary motion. Okay. So he gave a world which was predestined. And that's what was the Kali Yuga consciousness. Then we came to the upper consciousness. Uh, just to say that how the consciousness cycles change, it is the difference as the electromagnetism on the earth varies cycles change. A lot of scientists are and spiritualists are now coming to one platform in accepting, okay, what is soul? Soul is nothing but a holistic electromagnetic field. What is God? God is a cosmic electromagnetic field. So if when we experience the variation in electromagnetic field, that's how the consciousness change, and it changes through yugas. So I will not go into why the consciousness changes, why the electromagnetic field changes on the earth. That's the subject of another presentation. Uh, but let me just explain. Let me just give you small evidences of that we are in Dwapar Yuga. So now in Kali Yuga, I recall there was a very famous sociologist economist. His name was Malthus, and around 1700 he came out with his own theory. If I remember correctly, to be precise, 1712, there was a very famous essay of Malthus where he said that the living standard of the people cannot go up. It will remain the way it is, even if there are new technologies. So he gave a solid reasoning. He said, if there is a new technology, there were, new technologies that were coming even in 17th century. If there are new technologies, the productivity will rise, and that will create more food, and then there will be more population. There will be more mouth to feed. So then again there will be scarcity, and then again there will be diseases, and people will begin to die again. So we are doomed for poverty forever. That was a concept which was very popular around 1700. Now what happened? And imagine, the population of the world had not risen between 500 BC and 1700. The population was almost same, just few millions. That's it. Few millions, okay. Like it is said that population in 500 BC was around 25 million, and approximately probably same around 1700. 25 billion only, 25 millions, okay. Now come to 17th century. Suddenly the economic expansion begins. In Kali Yuga, uh, people, the consciousness was such, people will wish that my neighbor die and their whole family die, because if they die, I will encroach on that land. That's what was happening in Europe. Now, what happens in the Upper Yuga? Whole complete change in consciousness. The more the population grew, there were more possibilities, because every person came with a new possibility.
Shivu,
Okay.
Ankur is asking what is the name of the person again?
His name is Malthus. Malthus. So, so do you see that population has gone up by how many times? Few hundred times. Yet, do you see the kind of living standard we have? And today we are not competing that if one person will die, the other person will become prosperous. But every person brings in something which is so unique, isn't it? So everyone adds new value. So the more population is actually more productive. That's how the whole world. See, that's why the concept of cities came. Because a lot of people could be together, they could interact, and when they interact, they would create something. That's why the living standard of cities became far better than urban population. Sorry, the village population.
Right.
So
Shivu, so what you are saying is earlier, if someone is dying, then that is adding value to a other person's life.
yeah, because there
person
are
is living, he's adding value. So it's a complete
yes,
change in paradigm.
yeah, complete change in paradigm. And so why did that happen? What was one technology that changed everything? Okay, now this is very interesting. Mansi, you already shown the slide, so I cannot ask this question.
Sorry, Shivu, I was okay.
So one technology, if there was one factor that changed this whole concept, was electricity. There was no and the The Kali Yuga, all the technologies, machines, they were operated still by human labor. But when electricity came, everything changed. And that is the evidence that Dwapar Yuga came. Because Dwapar Yuga is a Yuga of subtle energies. In Kali Yuga, man only knows the brute force of animals and men. That's the only thing he knows. And the great Benjamin Franklin, again a character I've been so much in love with. Would love to do another session on Benjamin Franklin, because we always say that there have been so many avatars in ascending yuga. In Hindu mythology, we believe that there were 10 avatars, and you know, but in quantum life, we believe there have been many avatars in past 300 years, and one of them was Benjamin Franklin. He is the one who changed the whole destiny of the world by bringing the concept that electricity can be harnessed, and that is the evidence that Dwapar Yuga had begun. So, and another, Mansi, next slide, please.
I'm sorry about that slide change.
Yeah. So, next, we already discussed this. So, in uh, in 1895, when Sri Yukteswar had written in Holy Science about the Dwapar Yuga, he had also made a prediction. He said, very soon, a concept will come that will shift the understanding of the whole world about energy, because Dwapar Yuga is about energies. And here comes just 10 years later, Einstein, 1905, and he says E equal to mc square, everything is energy. There is no matter, it's all energy. Okay, so that's another evidence of Dwapar Yuga. But then the consciousness begin to rise. It doesn't stop at energy, it now comes to consciousness. I really feel it is because Einstein was the creator of, or he downloaded the concept of E equal to mc square, and he thought he wanted to explain the whole world in terms of energy. That is why he could not understand the quantum sciences, because that was his limit. He could understand only till energy. Beyond energy, he couldn't. He did not believe that there can be anything beyond energy. But now comes the uh, Young's experiment. I think it was in, I don't remember, it probably 1919 or something, which gave a whole new concept, that is probabilistic universe. Now it says electron is a wave, but if you observe, it becomes the matter. How strange it is. So the observer is changing the outcome. Now this was unbelievable, because for Newton, everything was fixed, nothing could change it. But here, what is Young experiment saying? Observe and it will change. This was strange, and it was very strange for Einstein. And he really poked fun at quantum sciences, and there are many riddles. He came out with a lot of humorous one-liners like "God doesn't play dice." One of his famous statement about quantum sciences. Another riddle uh, he posed to um, quantum scientists, which they could not answer even if they proved mathematically that quantum science is correct. But that was one riddle they could not answer, and of course, spiritually, that riddle can be answered. So his riddle was: if everything is based on observation, does it mean if no one is observing, there will be no moon? Now tell me, what is the answer for that? Do you see how beautiful, how brilliant that riddle is? Even if you believe however much in quantum sciences, can you still answer it? Can anyone answer that riddle? I think this riddle is also very important for us to understand quantum entrepreneurship. Einstein said, does it mean if no one is watching, there will be no moon? Is it true? As per quantum science, there should be no moon because no one is watching. How can the moon be there? Anyone want to say anything on this?
Sure, you talk about this in Baroda trip.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So already know the
Shiva,
So
but it is a
except those
perfect
people,
riddle. There can be no
yeah,
winner in this because whichever way you see it, right? It's like Schrodinger's cat. Is the cat dead or is it alive? The cat in the
yeah,
box.
yeah,
Is it
yeah, yeah,
alive?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Jayaji.
Yeah, I thought that the whole idea that, one could see the 1919 observation, Young's, and Einstein's theory of relativity, which comes 2 years later, is provable.
Yeah.
Because his theories of it's the general theory of relativity. He is among the many things that he has done, but this is the one that gets proven. I'm not a physicist, but from what I understand is that by sheer observation, you could do something that could get theorized and which could
Yeah.
then be proven. So it's the reverse of the.
No,
Yes,
but
absolutely.
now the question is
Absolutely.
this. Question is this: if no one is observing, will there be moon in the sky or not? That's the question.
Shiva,
That's the
this is like
question he
a
asked.
koan. Shiva, this is like a
हाँ,
koan. वो जो koan रहते हैं ना, I don't know how
हाँ,
to pronounce it.
yeah,
You know, like the one hand clap. It's like that.
yeah.
Shiva, I want to mention an irony. By the way, the Young's experiment, Shiva, was done in 1800 and something.
Okay,
But
okay.
yeah, but I want to share an irony that while
But the observation was of the solar eclipse of 1919, which is why the
Yeah, that
1919.
was yeah. So Einstein came with theory of relativity in 1905, but it was proved in 1919 with the solar eclipse. So there were two evidences he gave.
And Einstein
One was
became famous only in 21, not 1905.
So yeah.
At that time, only Oxford lecturers.
there was there was this
So there
major
was-
year where all his work got
1919 and So there were two evidences Einstein had given. One was the solar eclipse, famous one. Another one was he explained the orbit of Mercury, and he gave precise calculations for that, which nobody had yet given, and he gave that based on the theory of relativity. So they were the two evidences which proved that theory. And there was someone a few years back. Someone asked me, all this is nonsense, theory of relativity. Why do we even talk about it? Is it even practical? Tell me, what is a practical application of theory of relativity? So that time I said, oh, what is a practical? But later I realized, oh my God, all the satellites which are launched, their calculation is based on theory of relativity. If you don't include theory of relativity, you can never calculate the exact orbit, and you can never launch satellite. So if we have this internet revolution, if we have mobiles in our home, thanks to the Einstein's theory of relativity. Okay, so that was very practical actually. A lot of people still say, where is the evidence? Evidence is there in your hand only. So yeah, so we will come to that riddle, and we will come to this particular riddle. Will there be moon? If
it's
there
a
is,
good one for the guest group also. For the guest group, we will invite. Shiva, is it an irony that actually Einstein was connecting to the consciousness, right? From there he got all these ideas, but he was also questioning it. Isn't that ironical?
So Mansi, for me, Einstein is also a Brahma avatar, and every avatar does his own work. And it's not necessary that he will be able to understand someone who comes after him. But that doesn't lessen his work.
Absolutely.
And especially in ascending Dwapar, every avatar, every consciousness, every product, every scientific discovery, whichever is going to come, the future is going to be better than past. Future is going to be better than present. In descending yoga, it was always the past was better than future. Past was better than present. So we have developed this huge habit of worshipping past, which is still plaguing India. We want to tell that, oh, our past was so glorious, so let's go back to the past and live that, and that's how we'll become Vishwaguru. But no, sorry, never. It will never happen. All the nations who became superpower, whether it is Britain or US, they had no past. Britain had almost no past. It was the nations like, the Rome had past, the Spain had past, the Portugal has past. Britain had no past. Roman Empire did not even care about British. They said that they are such rowdy people. Why do we go there and, why we don't want to establish Roman Empire in Britain, because there is no benefit. There is nothing to gain. They are most rowdy people. So Britain had no past. That's why, because they had no past, they became the leader in the new world. And America had no past, so they became the leader. So if we are still searching for solutions in past, there is no way we can move ahead, we can move forward. We have to create the solutions of present in present. We have to create our own future, not based on past. Yes, you can include the past, you can include the past understanding, but you cannot say past will dictate my solution. Yeah. So Mansi, let's moving back.
You talked about energy and consciousness. Shivu,
Yeah,
you want to
so
talk about that?
now let's come to the 5D phenomena. In a lot of New Age circles, a lot of people talk about 5D. We are in 5D consciousness, and we all will be transported. A lot of things are being talked about. So let me explain what is 5D phenomena astronomically. Okay. So this whole chaos started basically in 1997 is a year. And a lot of you will say that the reason was internet, but no, internet was not the reason. Internet was a consequence of what happened. So one thing great that had happened in 1997, 1998 probably. So it is said that the most advanced machine ever invented in the whole humanity is the Hubble telescope. I think it's 100-meter long telescope, but the kind of things it does is just beyond anyone's imagination. It explores the whole cosmos.
Shivu, would you call it the observer? We are talking about.
Yeah, it's an observer of space.
It's I would say a mega or super observer.
Yeah, it's a super observer, a machine which is a super observer. So this is a picture taken from, I think this is not from Hubble telescope, but some other telescope, but whatever, I don't remember. But this is how our galaxy looks like. So it's like if you twist a rubber band, and if you look from the front, that's how it will look. So it's like a rubber loop.
Shivu, this is the center of the galaxy, right? This is the center of the galaxy? Or?
No, this is the whole galaxy.
Okay.
This is how the galaxy looks like.
Okay.
And it appears like the infinity sign. Can you see that?
Yes.
Again, very strangely, our sages have been talking about this sign as infinity, and now there is evidence. So, Hubble telescope.
Jayaji is asking, how did yes, Jayaji, that is the great psychic power that our gurus had, right? Our sages had.
Yeah.
But how did they do this without the technology that we have now?
Yeah. See, the problem with our India is that we want to still remain stuck with what our sages and gurus said, and West is actually developing technologies. So for example, it's my favorite example, the Pushpak Viman. A lot of people say now you have these planes, but we have Pushpak Vimans. We had 20 of them, and sometimes even in the scientific conferences, they have this. Somebody presented a paper about that we had Pushpak Vimans and 20 of them. Then there is discussion going on how many Pushpak Vimans we have. Now, this is really regressing, and this is taking our country back, because you had the Pushpak Viman, but do you have them now? You are traveling in Boeing, right? Not in Pushpak Viman. And the West already created that. And you still want to live in the glory of your Pushpak Vimans. I would have appreciated if somebody said we had Pushpak Vimans, Now we are going to do, we will again practice the same technology. We will again create Pushpak Viman. Then I will appreciate that. Just because you had Pushpak Viman, so you want to worship that. So that I really feel is very regressive for nation, this kind of thinking. Now, but actually, I was reading a few years back, I read something very interesting. Okay, then now there is a concept called solar sail, which is like Pushpak Viman. Actually, if you want to see, you can check the YouTube. It's a plane which moves without any fuel, so it can move from one end of the solar system to another. And NASA has already created is already doing the prototype testing of a Pushpak Viman kind of a stuff, which is 15-kilometer square area, and it doesn't require any fuel, and it will move from one end of the solar system to another end of the solar system. They already created Pushpak Vimans. So this is the difference between descending yuga and ascending yuga. In descending yuga, the technology was available to few. There were only 20 Pushpak Vimans. But today in ascending yuga, the technology is available to everyone. So that's why we need to come to the consciousness of ascending yuga. And whatever great things were there in descending yuga, not going to help us. So now this is the photon belt. A lot of people talk about what is photon belt. So this is the photon belt. Now we have this yuga cycle of 24,000 years. Okay. Now in this 24,000 years, Earth crosses this, the solar system crosses this belt from down to up and then from up to down. So every 12,000 years, there is a crossing of this belt. And whenever this belt is crossed, something grand.
Of that? No. Okay.
Picture of what? The belt, yeah. It is the photon belt, same belt.
Okay.
The galactic, yeah, that is the galactic disk.
Yeah. Okay.
So now this does something amazing. In fact, if the life exists on the Earth, it is because we cross through this belt. You would know that our sun does not have any dense material. It only has hydrogen and helium. That's it. It doesn't have anything more than helium, denser than helium. So how do we have this carbon? The whole life on the Earth is based on carbon, right? From where this carbon has come, from where this titanium iron has come. It comes on the Earth when Earth passes through this galactic disk. Then whatever stars are there are exploding stars. This all heavy material comes from the dying stars, supernovas. So this is how so the Earth, a lot of people say that it is so dangerous to pass through that. Why did God created such a system where we have to cross this? Yes, it is very dangerous. There are destructions. In fact, what we talk about, the great flood of Manu, where Matsya Avatar happened, all that happened because of this crossing. So yes, it's very dangerous. The whole humanity goes through the peril, the danger of extinction, but it is essential for life to flourish on Earth. Because that's when we connect with the consciousness of the whole galactic disk. And now we are crossing this galactic disk since 1997. There was a lot of talk about the Mayan prophecies that 2012, the doomsday and all. So this was that actually. There was a little mistake in calculation. So they said 2012. Actually, it was 1997. Why did this mistake happen? I have done research on that also, but that is for some other time. So what happens is that you will know that in cosmos, 99.999% of the matter is plasma. Now, this doesn't appear like the reality on the Earth because here we know matter means solid, liquid, and gas, but that's not how the cosmos is. In cosmos, almost all matter is plasma. So when the Earth starts to go through the galactic equator, through this plasmic belt, there is a huge influx of plasma on Earth. Okay. Now that influx is a huge opportunity as well as huge challenge. It's a huge challenge because the whole electricity of the earth, electromagnetic field goes up to the astronomical extent. There are electromagnetic geological records which also verify that 12,000 years back, the electromagnetic field of the earth had suddenly risen and we could not sustain that, and almost the whole population had died. Only few remained, which, that's why we say the Manu was the first man and he again started the humanity. uh, so when electromagnetic field rises like this, there are, or the earth passes through the galactic center, there are huge disasters. Again, a lot of people say it is because of global warming, which is not so. Another topic for discussion at some other point. Um, but the real reason of the global warming is the plasma. One evidence of that is that there is global warming not just on the earth. Now scientists have discovered in all the solar system planets, be it Mars, be it Saturn, be it Jupiter, everywhere there is global warming. Obviously there is no pollution there. So it's a huge challenge because the natural disasters have gone up by many times, and whole humanity is facing the danger of extinction. It is true, but it has also given a huge opportunity because now we all humans, because there is so much electromagnetic field and electricity, it's very easy to connect with each other. That's why you see so much interest in the psychic sciences, occult sciences, because it is very easy to practice. All kind of occult sciences, positive or negative, because we can easily connect with the other humans. That's why the internet came. The internet technology was always there, but internet did not come because internet came because humans wanted to interact with each other. They wanted to feel one. Because of this rising electromagnetic field, they became one. So internet was just the expression of that. Uh, but at the same time, even the negative phenomena have become very easy, like black magic. Uh, there was very little of black magic and all 25 years back. Now it has grown to astronomical proportions. Uh, so much black magic happening. Also, another thing what it has done is there are deva fields, there are asura fields. They are like vibrational fields somewhere. And they were like very far because there was so much vibrational difference. But now, because of the rising electromagnetic field, now that electromagnetic field scientifically also has been measured, that the electromagnetic field of the earth has begun to rise, which was falling for past 2000 years. This is again a fact. So
Shivu, you want to say, I don't know if you already mentioned that 12,000 years ago, the same thing had happened again.
Yeah. 12,000 years back, this thing has happened. There are a lot of evidences of that. There are evidences of the electromagnetic field rising to astronomical proportions, reports of which are there, geological records are already there. You can research on that. And there was a global warming. There was huge global warming, which has been discovered in the ice.
Shivu? Shivu, cannot hear you. Is Shivu there?
Sorry, Mansi, I got disconnected.
Okay.
One phone. Yeah. So am I audible?
Yes. I'll just put on the slide again.
Hello, yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, Shivu.
So now, what are the deva fields and what are the devlokas and asur lokas? They are also vibrational concepts. So those were very far from the earth because the vibrations are very different. Now, with the influx of plasma, devloka and asur loka They've literally become part of the earth consciousness. And I literally feel that devas and asuras are really walking on earth through humans. So it is impossible for anyone to become successful as a human. You have to take support either of devas or asuras because they are the mighty beings. So you cannot live on your own. That is the consciousness today. Yes, Mansi. So these are the
Yeah.
challenges. Okay, now another challenge of the plasmic times is that we have passed through the Kali Yuga. Now, in Kali Yuga, there is so much of the subconscious is stored inside us. It's literally like the volcanoes are stored inside us. And then we breathe in plasma, and the plasma goes inside us, and then those volcanoes are blasting. And that is what it is destroying the lives of people, it is destroying the relationships. Whatever people created with many years of, effort, be it business, be it relationship, just get destroyed in a moment. It just goes in a flurry. It is because the volcanoes inside them have got triggered. So these are and the great opportunity. If you see, I was reading somewhere, if you see what was the knowledge human beings created in past 10,000 years, in past just 20 years, we have created more knowledge than that. This is the magic of plasma because we are so much connected with the cosmos. It's very easy to download new knowledge. And that is a concept of quantum entrepreneurship. Yeah. Yes, Mansi.
Shiva, can we ask a minute? Is everyone with us? Everyone is like, how is everyone? This is new information. You're soaking. Yeah, everyone's right here.
Yes, we are there.
Very much. Okay. Following along.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, Shiva. Shiva, just in the interest of time, we are at 10:30.
So hopefully we'll complete very soon. So again, we are in the astrological cycle of Mercury. Mansi, we'll have a separate session on this.
Okay,
but
fine.
because of this astrological cycle of Mercury, we are in the age of ideas. So if today you are talking about entrepreneurship, it has to be idea entrepreneurship. Something, the product, the concept, the input, all related with mind. Now that there is this trinity of entrepreneurship, that is Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Brahma is the creator, Vishnu is the nurturer, and he's the one who manages the world. Brahma creates, and the Rudra transforms whatever is not working, whatever needs to die, and he creates that. He gives a clearing for Brahma to, in the same space, Brahma can create. That is the trinity of entrepreneurship. All entrepreneurs have these dimensions of Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh in them. We have always said that Brahma is a cursed god. If you worship Brahma, you will be doomed, and that's why there was only one temple of Brahma, and that was in Pushkar. You know that, and it can be understood. In Kali Yuga, people were fighting for survival, and in that, if you are a creative person, what will happen to you? I mean, people will just snatch you, they will just finish you off, and no one is going to value you. So Brahma was really cursed god. Okay, but now what is the status? So, which are the greatest enterprises in the world? Some of them are here on the slide. They all are knowledge oriented. This is Brahma consciousness. Brahma consciousness is really throbbing today. And a lot of you who are involved with Quantum Life know that Quantum Life is a Brahma path. Yes, Mansi. Next. So again, let me come back to that Einstein's riddle. So there was this concept of Big Bang earlier, which said that the whole of the matter of the cosmos was concentrated as singularity, and singularity was one point that was infinitely dense, and somehow that point exploded and the cosmos got created. Now scientists started to explain everything based on this Big Bang theory, but they could never explain, is it even possible that all the mass of the whole cosmos is concentrated as one point called singularity? So, but still, people believed in that theory till the Hubble telescope, the revelation came. People earlier believed that cosmos is fixed, and all science was based on that. Even Einstein had his own calculation, which showed to him that actually cosmos is not fixed; it is expanding. But he neglected that, and in later part of his life, I think in 1956, he said that the mistake he regrets most in his life, the biggest mistake he has done, is that he did not follow what he had discovered, that cosmos is not fixed actually. And he said that now it appears, I think in 1930s or something, it had gotten clear that cosmos is expanding. But actually in 1997, the evidence came through Hubble telescope, which told us cosmos is not just expanding but also accelerating. Now Big Bang theory goes for total toss here, because if it was an external force that created the Big Bang, then either the cosmos has to be contracting or at least it has to be like deaccelerating. But here our telescope tells us it is accelerating. That means there is a new and new creation going on. It's not that the cosmos got created with Hubble telescope. Sorry, it got created with Big Bang, but actually every moment it is getting created. So then how is that happening? Now here comes our Hindu mythology, Hindu story of creation, that Brahma was sleeping, or some say Shiva was sleeping, or whatever. So Brahma was sleeping, he woke up and the creation began. Now this is really a quantum story. Yeah, Mansi, next slide, please. This is really the quantum story.
Shiva,
So that means observer awakened, and the creation began. That's what exactly the quantum science is saying. Observation is the greatest act of creation. So Brahma woke up means the observer woke up. The particles, which are like quantas, which are not yet atoms, that existed in the whole cosmos, but they were not organized according to a vision. And now observer wakes up and everything begins to get organized as atom, and then then the bigger structure comes. So that's how the cosmos got created. So this is the answer for the Einstein riddle. If no one is watching, will there be a moon? Obviously someone is all the time observing. We think that the human is the observer. No, there is an electromagnetic field which scientists have discovered, that is a cosmic electromagnetic field. That is the observer. That's what we call God. God is the observer, so there is moon. See, even the science is now agreeing, yes, because the observer awakened. This is a quantum explanation of creation of the cosmos. Yes, Mansi. So it is very, very important for entrepreneurs to understand that they have to become observers. Mansi, I think the observation, let's skip these slides because we have been talking so much about observation. Let's come to okay, so we will talk about observation maybe when people are sharing. We will talk about synthesis also. As I said, that there are scientific theories and management theories, and we can make things, in quantum life, a lot of things are very simplified. So there is a theory by a great scientist, David Bohm. This theory is called pilot wave theory, or the theory of intricate and extricate order. But this theory is very simple. He says that whatever gets created or manifest in this world is first created on a subtle reality. So our sages always said that first things happen on a different plane, then they manifest on the earth. And this is one concept which may appear very complex to a lot of people, but in Quanto Life, in a very sahaj way, we apply it. We are constantly accessing the vibrational field, the fields of subtle reality. We are always connecting there, receiving guidance from there. That's why a lot of people in Quantum Life have experienced, even if they don't know what the future is, but they are still somehow aligned with the future. They are doing the right thing, even if they don't know where the world is going, but they're still doing the right thing. So this is the crux of entrepreneurship in this era. Yes, Mansi. So I think we should close the yeah because yeah. So is there any very important slide? Other slides we can discuss
This
while
was pretty much the end of it.
yeah.
We're just talking about this. So yeah. So
Mansi, do you think we should have a separate session on what creation has already happened in Quantum Life?
sure. I do feel so. I do feel so.
Yeah. So we want to
Because
make
we
a
will not
practical
be able
case
to
study.
do justice to everyone on this one. If you
Yeah.
want, you can have maybe one sharing of one of the people. But I feel that we should have it. We should have a separate thing because that would just be focused on the sharings and how the fundamentals of today's session got applied. Hi Ranju.
Yeah. So let's take question answers and let's have a different session, which is about the case studies of quantum entrepreneurship. So Quantum Life is a very new organization, just 4 years old, but still the seeds we were sowing have begun to sprout and they are showing great possibilities. All that we will share in a separate session. So Mansi, we can invite the questions.
Yes. Shivu, I would first ask everyone how was that presentation and so far for them and invite questions. How was it? Was
Or
it
what is
all
their takeaway
was
maybe?
it all
What is
esoteric? Yeah, what is your feeling about it? What are your thoughts after this?
Mansi, before that, I want to say one thing.
Yes,
When
Shivu?
I made this presentation few times, and
Oh yes.
there were standing ovations. But you know what?
Shiva,
Every
I'll
time
even take someone to the date. So it was actually in Thana, and there was a group of there was a I think I don't remember the exact name. Either it was
10,
10
I think
or
it
it
was
was
called the
10.
Entrepreneurial Network. Yeah.
Yeah, the 10. And in this group, Shiva had first, I would say first presented it, right, Shiva?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
first time you presented it. And I think there was electricity in the room, like there was electromagnetism in the room. There was like pin drop silence and awe. And as soon as Shiva finished, like there was a standing ovation. And yes, Shiva. And then people asked, right? Where
Yeah.
can
People asked, okay, now you have given a big concept. How do we apply it? And do you have a workshop? And I had no answer to that actually. And over a period of years, I felt very, distraught about it that this is a concept. Is it going to remain theoretical? So when Quantum Life started, in fact, the Quantum Life itself is a quantum venture. Yeah,
was it
we
2015?
applied all. Yeah, it
Was
was
it
2015.
2015?
Yeah. So Quantum Life itself is a quantum venture, and then so many projects started where we applied all these concepts. So these all concepts may appear very esoteric to you, but they're actually very practical and they're very simple to apply. Very simple. Yeah, Mansi. Now we can ask questions, take feedback.
Shiva, Neha is like that. Neha, are you saying that you had the same kind of awe? Shiva, Neha is like she wanted to do that same, give you a standing ovation.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone else? Like, what are you? Thoughts?
Mansi, can I?
Yes.
Speak?
Yes,
I
Rama.
think so. What Shiva said, that who you are in present is not the function of your past. Who you are in present is the future you are into. I think so. After 2000, even the structures of FMCG organization changed. It was an activation and innovation brand manager from a person who comes from sales in Lever. He works in activation, then he goes to innovation, then he goes back. So innovation, the Shiva said in one thing, either you innovate or perish. I've seen the printing industry in last 25 years, how it was cut page, then positive. Now you can physically say just an email, the thing is printed in a newspaper. Otherwise, we have to send a positive to the airport and a lot of other things. Now it's just sitting in one country, you can get it published anywhere. Things have changed digitally. And she was said, your function shouldn't be past, you have to see into future. Past gets, a lot of companies have closed down past. Now something innovative has to happen.
Yes.
As we talked about the fourth law of thermodynamics, I exactly don't know what is that, but I know that the laws of thermodynamics are not true anymore, which say that everything, the entropy in the universe always rises, but it is not true. I mean, a lot of people have talked about it. This law is not correct, but that is for some other time, maybe. Yeah.
Yes, Arunji. Yeah, there have been so many pearls of wisdom. Like, I feel I have heard this so many times and it still blows me away. I think many of us in core quantum life have heard this several times, but I'm still in awe. Shiva, Arunji says his takeaway was don't root to earth, root to the space. Yeah, that is
root
Arunji,
to
one of
earth
the
as well as to the space.
Yeah. Don't just root to the earth. I think that's
Don't neglect the earth. Root in the space and on the earth.
Yeah. So, yeah, Anil Shukla says that he says observation results in creation, but does it require any theoretical knowledge of what to observe?
Yeah, so the Quantum Life is the training ground where we are. So who is the observer? It's not me as body who is the observer. Okay, that is also an observation. That's a very, very small part of observation. You as Aham Brahmasmi, that is a real observer. So when you go into that space, Aham Brahmasmi, that's when the real observation happens. That's what we teach. We are constantly taking you from Aham to Brahma and teaching how to observe.
She went removing the Brahm that we have.
Yeah, and remove the Brahm. That is the subconscious.
Yes.
Remove the Brahm, move to Brahm.
Anilji, Anil, you're talking about the theoretical knowledge. I think in Quantum Life, what we all these success stories you will hear, it's been a very practical observation, right, of the own life patterns and
practical. Everything is practical. Yeah.
In our own microverse, we have brought it. Like, it's not just a concept in the macro. It has come, what was that Vashishta said, what is everywhere is here also in the moment. What is here is everywhere.
Yeah, I think Pinde Brahmande, that's the
yes. Okay. So Shiva, he's saying can you ask your query? He's saying his query was more related to quantum entrepreneurship.
Yeah, so we can have the discussion when we have the case studies. So we will declare the date for that. We hopefully wanted to do it today, but we know that it will get very late. So we'll have a separate session on that.
Shiva, tomorrow would we look at your journey and how this got created, and would that be tomorrow's session, or are we going to take the sharing?
Let's decide in the morning and we'll post on the group.
Okay. So really our wisdom circle meetings that we have in the morning are really places of multi-observation, right? We'll actually practice what Shiva said right now, and we will all observe, and we will, whatever gets channeled is how we will follow. So really, we actually do this.
Shiva?
Yes.
1 minute. I think Jayaji had her hand from long. I don't know, it was a previous hand or a new hand.
No. I first wanted to say what an outstanding presentation. One thing that happens whenever Shivo gives this kind of talks is that I think the key thing that the two key messages that I always take away from this is I believe that awareness about how to observe, not just with the eyes, is something that I take it as a takeaway for me every time. And when you talk about certain things, then you realize how much of the space is still vacant in your mind, in your brain, or within that space. And when you say, and when you take us through the quantum vibrational field and asked us to explore our own body, the spaces within and the opportunities to let go of the past consciousness or past imprints, but making space for new creativity happens. That comes with a practice that is absolutely stunning. So when I think, for example, when you mentioned about plasma, I thought, having no TV is a better way to absorb the plasma for creativity than watch the TV with the plasma there, because it is somebody else streaming something for you. Whereas when you discover it yourself by your own observation, I think you would go places in quantum leaps. So thank you, Shivo, for that piece of advice that I took away from this lecture.
Thank you.
Shivo, Arunji is asking, do we have something on Ganesh Chaturthi? Shivo, do you want to talk about the evolution of
Mansi, why don't you talk about it?
So Arunji, Ganesha, Shivo has had a very different perspective of Ganesha. Shivo, I don't know if you want to elaborate on some other time on how Ganesha works on the DNA. Yeah, we'll do it on Ganesh Chaturthi. On a very, very unusual perspective of Ganesha. And if you will see in quantum life, every Deva or Devi, Shiva has accessed that vibrational field and taken us there. And so all the insights of Devas and Devis and the divine vibrational field is very different. It is not negating what had come before, but it is adding a completely new dimension to that. So we will share that on the 31st. But also this entrepreneurship program actually started as Ganesh Sadhana. Probably about 4 years ago, it started as Ganesh Sadhana, and that is where this thing it started, the seeding of quantum entrepreneurship started happening. It started manifesting. So we had Ganesh Sadhana first. First, it was a smaller workshop for 9 days, and then it went to 3 months. And then 2 years ago, there was quantum entrepreneurship that was seeded. But we have made such leaps from that time. In fact, even from the last one to this one, that the program name has now become, from quantum entrepreneurship, it has become how to be a quantum entrepreneur. Because I think that, Shiva, would you say in that 1 year after, so when Shiva talked about quantum entrepreneurship, he talked about a lot of ideas. But in those 3 months, the fruits have started happening now. And we see it everywhere. So when those fruits have those seeds that were sowed last year, the fruits have happened across to so many people and to so many projects. And so now there is a new thing that has arisen, that how to become a quantum entrepreneur. And it has blown apart. Who's an entrepreneur? That idea of who's an entrepreneur, who's a quantum entrepreneur has just blown apart. So this is the name of the new program. So yes, Arunji, we will have a session on it, but this whole be a quantum entrepreneur, it has really been offered to Ganesha. Okay. Shiva, can I quickly say that tomorrow we are having our tarot orientation? Can I?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
So we will talk about it tomorrow, but quantum tarot is also a hugely, it's completely a quantum entrepreneurship project. I think I didn't even realize that it was that until very recently. But it is amazing that this whole thing came up about 6 months ago. It came as a divine message to start, and with zero, with zero, with zero money spent on any kind of advertising. We had 55 participants, and then we had people whom we also took in the team. So we had about 67 to 65 people with whom we started the course, and with zero money spent on advertising. And maybe 7-8 months later, I'm so thrilled that we have launched 22 tarot readers who have been getting mind-blowing reviews. Mind-blowing reviews. We have someone as young as Tisha, someone more experienced like Meenaji and Jayaji, and they're like mind-blowing reviews, like really. And tomorrow is the orientation class. If you're interested, Rupali, can you put your number or the group's name? So tomorrow we are having the orientation session. We are about 27, 28 right now already who are joining in, and you all are most welcome. It is one of the most sahaj way of to this unknown fields, to connect to the unknown, and I heartily invite you all. In fact, we use tarot in our Ganesh Sadhana and entrepreneurship programs to ask what should the entrepreneur's next step be. So I heartily invite everyone to that program. Please let us know. Thank you. And I want to, there's so many tarot readers right now here, and I want to heartily applaud. We have Rupali, Tisha, Meenaji, Preeti, Abnaz, Lata, all the people I'm seeing now, Kshitij, Nitika, yeah, so Aruna, yeah, we have so many, Rohini and all, and they're joining back again because I feel we do it with 3 decks, Jayaji's, we do it with 3 decks. So sometimes people are coming to understand one more deck in great detail. And we have a thriving community that wants to learn. And yeah, we have lots and lots. We have a very, very strong community. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Rupali, for sharing that. If you could share the chat link if anyone wants to join. Thank you so much. Yes, Shivu. Shivu, are there any more questions?
So Jayaji has made a comment, and I would say, Jayaji, that we all are channeling some very radical breakthrough knowledge. And yes, the synthesis could be the key for that. And I would say, go deeper in synthesis. We don't know what might channel through you. If you have this huge desire to, you have this huge urge to channel what is black hole, even that will get channeled through you. So we don't know really. We just have to go deep.
Thank you, RK. Shiva, RK is typing, and so is Jayaji. Shiva, did you read? You read Jayaji's comment, right? The second one also, right?
Yeah.
So, any more questions?
Mansi, today, whom are you feeling?
Shiva, I'm feeling.
Let's invoke the knowledge barrier of plasma. That is the Mahasalochana. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I was thinking Indra or Ma. When the plasma thing was going on, I was thinking of Indra and Mahasalochana. And then when you came, Shiva, that, I mean, I have to still say, after hearing it so many times since 2015, I am really blown away by the Big Bang and the Brahma story. Like those two, I don't know if I am only one. That still blows me. I'm still in that space. I really request that you make a video. Like, does anyone, like, is that like a breakthrough story for anyone else? Like for me, I'm still in that moment where you shared that. Like that for me was completely, like I have, you have shared before that how many of the quantum scientists like Heisenberg and all, Heisenberg thought he was crazy, that because when he was going deeper into quantum science, he thought he was crazy. And then when he read the Upanishads, he was like, okay, fine. Okay, there is someone else who has also seen this. And I just feel like you relating this creation story with Big Bang, I feel is like mind-blowing for me. So yes, Jayaji. Like I feel, Jayaji, I heartily invite you for the tarot decks that we are releasing some oracle decks, and one is going to have Shivo's quotes, and I heartily invite, because you are someone who will get the gist and the crux, and you will like put it across. So yeah, Ma Sulochana is just, I mean, unbelievable. It is still incredible after all these years. So Shivu, today, would you like to invoke Ma Sulochana, or yeah?
No, you invoke.
Okay, Shivu. Shivu, by knowledge barrier is what are we looking at? What are we looking at? So we are going into...
No. I said knowledge carrier.
Oh, knowledge carrier.
Yeah, she gives us the knowledge of the plasmic world. So let's see what we receive from her today. So what we can offer is our feeling of chaos, where the feeling that whatever we know is completely breaking down. We don't know what's happening. And let's see if we offer that, then what we will be filled with.
Okay. Shivu, we have many new people. Hi, Rahul. I saw you joining in the middle. Shivu, we have many new people who may not be knowing Ma Sulochana.
Yeah,
So
Rahul, can we listen from Rahul? How was the session for him? He probably joined first time in Quantum Session.
Yeah. Rahul, are you here? Okay.
Can I take a moment to say something before
please,
Rahul comes in?
Yeah.
Has he come in already?
No, please go ahead.
Maybe he may be driving or something.
Yeah, so I was thinking, the television series that we all saw, that where we had Dr. Spock commanding
Star Trek.
Dr. Spock always wanting to transpose from one universe to another universe with energize. And suddenly, you could actually crystallize something from the plasma kind of a stuff. So for me today, even Dr. Spock is like Ma Sulochana.
Yes, it's like
or visually being able to imagine how Ma Sulochana would have been. Just saying, ab ye bano, to wo ban gaya. Energize, lift aa gayi.
हाँ, like वो deatomize होते थे, फिर atomize होते थे. It's like beam me up, Scotty, and then that, beam up. Absolutely. So many parallels. I really feel that all the sci-fi authors and all, like science has not gone there. How have they gone there before science? I think they are connecting to the vibrational field, right? They are connecting to another field, right? Because science is not, they are ahead of science. They are tapping into something that is... Shivu, do you want to share who Ma Sulochana is, like, because we may not have time to go to the entire story, but so that people can access that. So Shivu, we will be going today into the plasmic state, like we would be connecting to the vibrational field of plasma, like.
Yeah.
So we will connect to the photon. We would connect to where we are in the photon belt, like because that is where we are receiving all. Yes, we will take Kushal. Yes. Shivu, yes, we will connect to that. I'm just feeling. So our offering is, yeah, so anyone wants to, so we will go into wherever we are feeling very chaotic in our lives, or we are feeling chaos.
And Mansi, also I want to ask you how we can take with Masalochna, Kushalti in our healing group. Can you please elaborate a little bit more?
Yeah, so Preeti, we will be going into the vibrational field of plasma, and we will be observing the chaos in our own life. So when Kushalji got the news, there must be a lot of chaos in his life, right? Today we will, if we know him already, we will observe the vibrational field of that, the chaos. When someone is not well, you know how the chaos, like the news comes in, the chaos that happens. We'll observe that. Okay, so that is, and when we observe that in this invocation, Ma Sulochna's vibrational field comes with that. Okay. Okay, thank you, Preeti. So we'll take a 1-minute bio break, and we will we'll come back. This will be a quick invocation. Shivu, this is a short invocation. Yeah. Okay, Neha is to undergo surgery. Okay, Neha. Neha, would you like to share which part of the body? Or otherwise, it's okay. We'll just take you out. Okay, thank you. शिव, एक दिन इंदिरा जी को भी इन्वोक करते हैं क्या? मुझे भी ऐसे लग रहा है कभी करना चाहिए. Okay.
जरूर.
You know, when we go through lightning, in our life, how to really, how to really be in that space, and how to seize that opportunity. Yes, we'll take Vishwesh also. Thank you. Okay, so shall we start? Shivu, any more advice about Ma Sulochna or yeah?
Just go ahead, Mansi, you know.
Okay. So invite everyone to sit, palms open, straight spine, bringing awareness to your breath. Just observe your breathing pattern, not changing, not controlling. Breathing in and out. You're breathing in the plasma that is throughout the earth and solar system. And breathing out. We will start observing our body. Observing the top of the head. About 6 to 9 inches above your head. observing that point in space. And feeling it envelop you. Bringing your awareness to the top of your head. Your third eye. Between your eyebrows. Observing your whole face. All the sense organs. Nose, mouth, tongue, ears. Observing inside your head. Your neck, and also inside, where there are cells as many as the stars in the universe. And in those cells, as many atoms, molecules, who can be a wave as well as particle, bringing that into awareness. Shoulders, arms, palms, your lungs, your heart. If you feel pain or any other thing in any part of your body, observe that. If you feel nothing, observe that. If you can't feel a part, observe that. Observing your belly. Your torso. Your intestines. Your reproductive organs. Your legs all the way to the soles of your feet. Observing your back. The back of your head. To your neck. Down your spine. Observe. Upper back, middle back, lower back, tailbone. Now observe your whole body as one. Observe the space around you. We are all vibrationally in the same space right now. Observe if you can feel others. They might be in different physical locations, but can you feel them? Together we will invoke the quantum vibrational field. Quantum, quantum, quantum. Observe. Observe the space around you. Observe the space around your whole room. Can you extend it further to your whole house? Your whole neighborhood? Can your personal aura extend? Can it go beyond the neighborhood to the city? Can this extend to your whole state? To your country? To the whole earth? Can you feel the space? Yourself expanding to the whole earth. What do you feel beyond that? Can you go beyond that? To the solar system, the sun, the planets, its many satellites, the space. Can you go there? And right now, that solar system is going through the center of the galactic flame. And all those plasma, intense plasmic vibrations are entering. They have been entering you. But now, can you observe it? Can you feel that? Is the vibration getting more intense, more wider, expanded? Observe how it feels. And here we invoke the goddess of plasma, our very own Masalochna. I invoke you, Masalochna. I invoke you, Master Lochana. I invoke you, Master Lochana. I can feel eyes everywhere, like peacock feathers everywhere. Collectively, I'd like to offer some people who are not well right now. Kushal, Neha, Vishwesh, Sandhya Pratham Nagesh. If I have forgotten any name, please say it in the vibrational field. Or if you would like to include more names here. Now I invite you to go into a place in your life where you feel chaos. It could be a relationship, a project, a work, child. Time travel into that situation. Observe the people in it, the words. Observe yourself in it. And most importantly, feel the spaces between the people, between the words. I will be silent as you connect to your chaos. Whatever you observe, Master Lochana observes it with you. Her eyes are everywhere, wherever you take her. And please feel those incidences in your body. That is where it is stored. So I'll be in silence now till I announce Shavasana. Feeling a lot of gratitude towards Shiva right now. Bowing down to you, Shiva. If you feel ready, you can go into Shavasana now. Please stay in Shavasana for at least 10 minutes. Thank you so much for attending this session. We'll continue this tomorrow. Please share your experiences of Masalochna. Thank you so much for joining. We'll end the session now.